Forbes India presents M Connect, powered by Marmo Solution.
Hello and welcome to M Connect, celebrating architectural excellence and innovation. I'm Radhika Sana. Our theme for this session is the form within, an exploration of what truly drives an architect's design philosophy, what sparks that shift from instinct to clarity, and how do memory, ethics, or empathy find form in concrete, glass, and space. To help us unpack all of this, we are joined by three deeply thoughtful voices from the world of architecture, each with their own journey of evolution and insight. So let's welcome Nitin Rawal, founder, N17 Architecture and Design. He is from Panipat, and over the years he has built a diverse portfolio that reflects an interest in a wide range of residential and commercial projects. Since inception, the firm has chalked up an impressive and diverse portfolio in Pan-India as well as overseas. Next we have Sumit Malik, founder and designer, Design Consortiai. He is from Delhi, and driven by technology and innovation, the firm composes opulent home spaces with an elegant contemporary touch. Their portfolio also ranges from luxury villas to educational institutions, boutique hotels, as well as signature commercial spaces. And last we have Ashish Agarwal, founder and designer at Ashish Agarwal Interiors. Based out of Guwahati and with over 20 years of experience in luxury design across Northeast India and beyond, Ashish believes to design for purpose-driven projects that are human-centric, aesthetically functional, and are also timeless luxury. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Now, starting with you, Nitin, was there ever a moment in your architectural journey where you felt that your design philosophy really came into focus? When you went something like, oh, this is what I truly believe in?
Yeah, there has been incidents when we question ourselves in design, and there's a turning point that comes across to us. And that is shaped when there's a lot of freedom given by the client to the designer, that you create your own stuff and give all your 100% in your design, and it's work out very well. So there has been an incident twice or thrice in my journey when whatever there was in the inner soul that has come up on paper and got executed on the land. So particularly, if I tell you particularly which project it was, like it was there was a commercial project in which we played a lot in form. So we challenged ourselves in our style of architecture, and we did totally opposite to it, and made a building which is almost 45 degrees from what regular buildings are, what we were doing. So that kind of stuff turned the journey. It gave a confidence to us that we can do what normally beyond what we are doing in a current scenario. So that kind of thing has happened.
Well, that's amazing, and along with confidence, I think it's so powerful to get that kind of clarity, and it often shifts the way we see our work moving forward, right? Sumit, coming to you now, do you think architecture carries some sort of moral responsibility, and if yes, how does that show up in your work?
I think moral responsibility is not just limited to architecture. It should be there with an individual everywhere in whatever field you're doing. There's moral responsibility in everything. In our line of work, of course, moral responsibility comes with a lot of, there are a lot of categories where we can sort of divide ourselves into getting all of this. So, planning, taking care of the environment, sustainability, there are a lot of things like that where we should sort of harmonize our things and sort of make sure that whatever we are building has got some sort of semblance to where it is being made, what it sort of, means for a person who's passing by, and visually what it gives you as a feel, so that when you're looking at it, and it becomes a part of your visual experience. So there is something that it will say to you, and it will give you a little feeling that will sort of come about. So environment, sustainability. Then there is, of course, the moral responsibility of finance. You should make sure that the client has, whatever he wants to invest, whatever he's wanting to sort of get out from a particular project is what he's being given. A lot of examples of moral responsibility are also in terms of the fact that in today's society, there's technology, after technology, there is a lot of, solar growth that is happening, internet, hundreds of things that can combine and sort of bring all these areas and bring all these sort of governance factors into developing what we are doing nowadays. So we do have that moral responsibility, and we make sure that whatever we are doing, we are justifying to the client, whether that material is being used at a particular place justifies itself. If I'm doing something in the hills, I have to make sure that I'm respecting the fact that there's a lot of sunlight. So I will make sure that a lot of the sun becomes a part of the design. If I'm doing something in deserts, in Rajasthan, there'll be an area where I'll consider myself to run away from the sun. So all these factors at particular places do sort of play their own moral responsibility, and of course all of this should be taken about. So we do tend to sort of give ourselves that factor that everything that is being done has to be done using a particular logic and a moral responsibility.
And Ashish, coming to you, is there a design philosophy that you've consciously left behind over the years, and why was it?
Well, Radhika, that's a very interesting question. Everybody has some design philosophy or an ideology, but as you grow, as you evolve as a designer, you leave some, you hold some. I distinctly remember one thing is that earlier I used to design and ideate everything myself. But the one thing which I have changed of late is I am trying to collaborate more people while designing. For example, I am letting an artisan work on my project, a light consultant work on my project. So when I think about a concept in my mind, I don't want to conclude it or complete it in my mind. I leave cues to my fellow members or my team members or my sometimes clients even. So in today's time, clients have great ideas. So this is something I want to tell you that I have left those kind of thought process which I used to do earlier. Now we are more collaborating, and we are trying to give more opportunity to artisans, craftsmen, and sometimes client themselves. I remember an example. We were doing this luxury villa where I came to know much later that the lady of the house has interest in art. So after third meeting, she told me that I also do painting. Then I said, ma'am, what do you do? She said, I do it for my pleasure and for my self-satisfaction. So by the time we did this project, we were almost done with most of the spaces were closed. Then I thought again, why not give a chance to this lady to express herself into the house? Then we redesigned the whole area of the drawing room, which was like massive, around 600 square feet, the double height and all. Then I asked the lady, then if I create some space for you, would you be able to do art for your house? And she was like shocked and nervous for the timing. And then she said, I'll think and get back to you. Next day I got a call that, yes, I'm ready. So it was very interesting, and we made really big walls, a very dedicated area for the art. In fact, 2 or 3 areas. And she was working on it, and she is now coming with great ideas. So I think that gives me a lot of pleasure in terms of a content also. Now earlier we tried to do everything ourselves without letting anybody have their words or say or expression, but now it's really feel good.
I think it's also very powerful, to just know when to let go of old ideologies and also hold on to the new ones then.
Absolutely.
Right. And Nitin, coming to you now, has there been a space that is designed by you ever surprised you, maybe emotionally or intellectually? Has that ever happened?
See, what happens is, like, when we design a project and when we are doing it through our soul and it gets created in practical, then that project touches you. That project transforms you, and that project makes you to go ahead and be what you are and design as per what's there inside you. So there has been an incident like this when the project has been delivered, which an artist truly wants to design. So that in that way, I have been in touch with the 2-3 projects which have made me feel emotional about it.
That's great. And Sumit, tell me something. When you're designing a space, are you thinking more about the people inside it or the city around it? How does it work for you?
I think it has to be both ways, because as I was saying earlier, every building has its own visual appeal and a talk that will give you from the outside. So everyone doesn't have the way to go in and experience a product, but a building, when it's made, will sort of speak to everyone who's walking by, who's looking at it. There'll be a message that comes with it. So of course, when I'm designing, I'm also looking at the fact that a person who's inside should experience everything, and actually he's the end user whom we are making it for, so should be comfortable for that person. In a residential scale I'm talking about, it should be comfortable, it should be a place where that person feels secure, should feel safe, should feel that this is their own environment. But at the same time, the exterior, the outside of the house is also a piece of that person's attitude, that person's state of mind, the way the personality of that person is, of that family should be is visually represented on the facade. So of course, I think at the end of the day, it has to be a balance of both. You can't say that I'm just going to follow something that everyone's just looking from the outside, and that is the main principle of my development, because it has to go hand in hand. A person who's actually sort of coming to you for a solution and sort of looking for an environment that you build for him has to be respected and taken care of. But at the same time, you also have to make sure that what you're building and what you're showing and showcasing to the world is also a lot of representation to what the family's mentality is, what me as a person, my principles are, or what I am sort of following in terms of my design. And then of course there is a lot of what the city also gives back. So every site has its own sort of a persona. I will have a place, we're doing somebody's house which is in the middle of, literally, I mean, I've never been challenged so much that even towards the front of the house, I'm looking at something not so pleasant. And at the back also, there is something which is not so pleasant. And I was being just confused as to where do I look? And, suddenly this hit us that when we are surrounded by something that we cannot look at, the best way is to look inward. So we created a nice courtyard in the middle of the house. So from the outside, we've tried and sort of, created walls which are just not sort of representing anything, but a sort of plain blankness and minimalism. And from the inside, we are celebrating the house for the family, because the courtyard is where they are sort of now getting together, not being worried about sort of, being looked into. It's a private space. So everything that we are doing in terms of design has to be represented for the people, and has to be also respected for the fact that you are creating something which is going to stand for a lot of time and should sort of signify something and contribute to the overall aesthetics of the city.
Well, I think I can only imagine how difficult, how challenging it must be for you to maintain that balance between the inner and the outer world of a space. And Ashish, coming to you now, has a memory ever become the foundation or the form of your design idea?
Well, memory, of course, everybody carries memory in their mind, especially what I feel that your subconscious mind plays a really big role in your ideation, in your concept thoughts. I also believe that, the amount of enthusiasm you show in any learning or when you acquire some skill, that stays with you for a very long time. So I was in Delhi around 2002, 2019, 1919, 2000 around, and I was learning something very different from what I have learned in the institute. That was industrial designing. So I got this opportunity to work under someone. I remember the name of this firm is N17 India. I worked there for 10 months and I learned about point of purchase retail designing, which was not directly related to what I was learning in the institute. And then I finished my work and I went back to my city and I started doing interior designing practice. And that the skill was left in Delhi, what I learned. And 10 years of my practice in Guwahati, I was doing luxury residences, commercial spaces. I had no chance to do any retail space. Then I got an opportunity to meet one of my friend who was coming with an idea. He said, Ashish, can you do me a favor? I have this idea wherein I want to design a liquor store. I want to change the experience of how people buy liquor here in Assam. I don't have money to pay your fees, but would you still do for me? I listened to him, I understand his vision. As I said, that our vision is more about human-centric and purpose-driven design. Then I told him that yes, I'll give it a try. Let me see what we can do. I started working on this concept of how we can change this business. Earlier in Assam, liquor was sold from a small shops, and it was sold through a cage, so that people don't barge in, and it was wrapped in the newspaper. But parallelly, it was a very flourishing business. It was making a lot of money, and people were buying liquors, but there was a taboo to it. Looking at the rest of India and the world, it was a completely different scenario. Then we took this decision, we are going to make it a very flamboyant store, and we'll make a very different experience for the buyers in Northeast India. So we did this store in 1918-19 and completed in 21, I guess, and then it got the highest award in the world, the Icon of the Whiskey Award, and it has changed the entire scenario of how liquor industry behaves. And it works. So now around 400 other stores are also following the same trend. They are either facelifting those or they are revamping their entire industry. So it's a subconscious mind. You store a lot of things inside you, and it keeps on reflecting in your work whenever you get a chance. So I remember that very fondly. It's with me.
And I think memories also create that extra layer that gets a voice that is silent but at the same time powerful.
If you talk about memory or what your subconscious mind says, I think it's very important. As I said, in our philosophy, we definitely do collaborative work, and also we do human-centric work. So by doing this practice, we have been realizing that once you allow others to participate and have give their better expression, then it's exchange of ideas. It evolved to a different outcome altogether. Definitely, it has helped me to make my voice better. Even the client have lesser questions nowadays. They are in calm and peace, and they leave us everything, do it ourselves. Recently, we are doing a project for a retail store which is around 8,000 square feet, and they are a very old company into interior products. He just called me up and said, Ashish, I have this space. What can you do about it? I'm leaving it up to you. And you decide what do you want to display here and how you want to ideate the whole space. So that is a kind of change in my voice and my client's voice as well, and everything is flowing very smoothly. So it definitely makes an impact.
Okay, and Nitin, is there a design element or something, an idea maybe that keeps showing up in all your projects, maybe unconsciously?
Yes, there's a set pattern that every designer has, or there's an instinct that he follows or she follows. Like in my case, we are pure minimalistic designers. Minimalism is the criteria that we follow, and that is there in our soul. So that style of architecture impresses me a lot, and somehow make my direction towards minimalism only to create something. We are into very simplistic and minimalistic facades and planning. That is one thing that makes me move towards minimalism and simplicity.
So one last question to all of you before we wrap up this very interesting conversation, and starting with you, Sumit. If your inner design voice had to take a shape of a space, how will it look like or feel like?
I think it would be a sphere. It's got no edges, it's smooth, it just sort of absorbs everything, and it's got no sharp corners, just flows and has no barriers. It can't stop till the time you actually stop. So I think it'll be a sphere.
Great answer. And what about you, Ashish?
Well, I would see things as an art and aesthetic of many abstracts. that is something as a designer I don't want to, I don't see things with two ends. Design is something which is I see from there's no end to it. I mean, there's no close ends to it. So it just the idea keeps and they keep on going on in your mind. So the moment, it depends upon the moment I'm sitting and what kind of project I'm doing. But one thing I'm sure of is that it's going to be a very modern and a very human-centric at the same time. What the purpose of this whole building is, who is the occupant, and why they need it. So we are more into problem-solving design solution. We try and give. We understand the whole metrics and the purpose of this entire project. So maybe it's going to be a very minimal design wherein there's a lot of technology has been used. If it's a commercial project, if it's going to be a residential project, it's going to be about the people who are the occupant of the whole house.
Great. And Nitin, one quick response from you.
There shouldn't be any shape that comes from inner side, because anything we design that is a very very vast thought process that goes on. So can't give a shape to it that goes. We should go with the flow. There can be different shapes at different times in different projects, I believe. In that way we should.
Well, thank you, Nitin, for that wonderful closing comment. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, that wraps up another thoughtful session of M Connect, where the world of architecture meets the inner world of the architect. Today, our speakers not just talked about their work, but also shared the stories, shifts, and memories behind their design philosophies. I'm Radhika Sinha, and you have been watching M Connect, celebrating architectural excellence and innovation. Until then, keep reflecting, rethinking, and reimagining the spaces we live in.
Forbes India presents M Connect, powered by Marmo Solution.